So, Greg, I was just working with a Scrum team recently that just got engaged to each other. Wait. No. The question was, how do you keep a Scrum team engaged?
All right, that was a twist.
That was a near miss.
I heard the record player get kicked in my head, and then you kept going. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what you mean. How to keep the Scrum team engaged is another phrase for this is motivation, like how to motivate people, how to get them to. Okay, I get you. So at the core, if we have people who don't want to necessarily own their part of the process to create done increments, this could become difficult. How do you force engagement? You really can't just force engagement unless you're threatening them with something. What we're looking for is to find people who can actually align with the idea of owning. They want the accountability. They actually desire to be autonomous. So I'm going to first start with how to keep the Scrum team engaged. We need to start with the right people. That's going to be a good start because then we can use the parts of Scrum. We can even use the values and empiricism at its core to truly begin to draw out the engagement. It won't be difficult because you have the right people. So I'm going to start with the basic element of finding the right people. Find people who want to be engaged. Find people that actually that is at their default. They just need to be enabled.
Yeah. I'll build on what you said there because, you said you can't really force engagement unless you're threatening them with somebody. I don't think you can force engagement even with threats because at best with that, you're going to get is compliance, right? But getting people engaged is that internal motivation. And so like a lot of people in the Agile community, when I hear intrinsic motivation and I hear engagement, my mind immediately goes to Dan Pink and his book Drive. You even mentioned autonomy, Greg. I'll build on that with autonomy, mastery, and purpose, giving people an ability to control how they work, giving them the ability to get better at what they're doing, and connecting them back to why they're doing what they're doing. Scrum supports all three of these. Autonomy, mastery, and purpose in the framework. There's events that help us get better at what we do, like the retrospective. There's goals that help us connect to purpose. There's clear boundaries on the accountabilities in Scrum so that there is a level of autonomy. So I think looking for those three concepts and trying to bolster them wherever you can will help with that team engagement once you have those right people in place, like you said, Greg. What do you think, Rob?
So my mind is going to an example. When I was first new at being a software developer, professionally that is, I got introduced to the concept of unit testing. And so at first, all I really saw were theoretical examples. And then I went to go work with some teams. And the examples we had were okay, but there were a lot of them that were very brittle and hard to maintain. And they just felt so stupid to do. And I just didn't want to do it. And how would you engage me as a developer to get me to write these drudgery unit tests? It seemed like just a big waste of time. It wasn't until I understood what good unit tests look like where the aha moments or the light bulbs went off. When I found unit tests that were written just as well as solid production code, and that's an accidental play on the solid principles, I mean good code, and they were written well, and there wasn't a lot of string literals copied and pasted everywhere. I found them much easier to maintain, but more importantly, it was a lot easier to make mistakes writing production code when I had tests to back me up. It was kind of like learning to do a backflip, and you have a safety net. So once I understood their capability and their power as a safety net, I was a lot more engaged to make them and maintain them, and to teach these lessons to others who did not. So how do you engage people? Get them to see the real purpose and the real power behind it. You can't just say follow Scrum because that's what the rules say. Write unit tests because that's what the director of IT told us to do. That ain't going to work. You got to really see it for yourself and what the power is to get sort of lit up, especially when it comes to using Scrum.
Click the thumbs up to let us know you like the video. Subscribe if you'd like more of our videos in your feed. And maybe even hit that bell to get notified when we've got more videos for you.
Sometimes YouTube notifications don't actually go out and you won't be notified. So we've solved this problem. Click the link in the description to join our exclusive mailing list so we can send you an email every time one of our newest videos comes out. You'll be glad you did.